Okay, we're back.
We are back.
I'm Julia.
I'm Sydney.
Welcome to our channel if you're new. We have like 12 subscribers.
Heck yeah, that's 5 more than we had last time we
Yeah.
recorded this.
So hit the like button and follow us.
Because you know you want to. Because we're going to overshare and people like that.
I'm feeling goofy today.
I know. I think it's just because we're finding our flow.
I got the bedtime sillies or something.
the bedtime sillies.
6:30 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to start a timer at least. That way we stay somewhat aware of how long
we are going to try to keep this, like 15-20 minutes, you think?
Yeah, hopefully.
Just so we can stick to like a few things we talk about instead of going on tangents, because we do that quite often.
We do, but we're working on it.
Yeah.
And we are past our timeline of when we wanted to record this video.
Yeah, that's mostly my fault. She tried and I was like, no, I can't. I'm busy.
Well, and then we tried last weekend, but then we got interrupted and we were on a time crunch.
Yes.
And
that's what happens when you don't see each other every week like we used to.
Yeah.
We don't get to catch up.
Yep. We both got full-time jobs.
But the walks.
Partners. I know.
The last time we did a video, I was like, I am going to be more consistent. No, I haven't.
I think I canceled on 1 or 2 of them too. So
for a good reason, though.
But listen to us already rambling.
Yeah. Anyways, they're like, shut up. God.
Yeah. So today we wanted to do a part 2 kind of follow-up to our last video, which was about choosing self-compassion over self-hatred. We kind of talked about our struggles of like negative self-talk towards towards ourselves, and then
each other.
Yeah, well, that too.
You fucking ugly bitch.
I was gonna call you a dumb bitch. So.
That applies as well. You're not ugly. You're so beautiful.
Don't lie to me. But
you're just a little dumb.
Shut up. But when we got towards the end of the video, I think we had gotten into kind of the food situation. I don't really know how to describe that.
I think we talked a lot about like food scarcity, and I don't know if we talked about the whole like societal impact on food, but like how I think we did, like deeming it as like good and bad. So then if you eat something that's deemed as bad, then you feel food guilt with it and shame. And I mean, that's, if you ask anybody, like I feel like people that know I eat healthier, like when I'm at work and stuff, like if they eat like chips or they go out and get fast food or something, they'll be like when they're around me, they'll be like, I know I shouldn't be eating this. And I'm like,
yeah,
I don't ever want to put shame or judgment on you. Like, I'm going to do what I know I need to do, because if I eat fast food, I'm going to poop my pants.
Right.
And I feel like shit afterwards. Like, if you like eating fast food, like, do I want to try to encourage people to be healthier and like live healthier lifestyles? Absolutely. But I'm not judging you because you want to eat fast food. Like,
yeah,
I'm not. And I hate that.
Honestly,
I might make someone feel that way.
It's probably just a self-projection though, because think about like when you eat bad food, what is the story we're telling ourselves? And so it's kind of like they feel the need to defend themselves because they are probably feeling that internally, like
it's a lot like,
I know I shouldn't be eating this.
Drink too.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And along with that, I feel like we should kind of talk about like body image. Like I can't tell you how many hours I've spent like looking at my body in a mirror or comparing it to other people's on social media.
I think that's like probably what I struggle with the most is the body image issues. And like, I can admire someone, like, you know how you have those two girls that are like, I either hate you because I think you're prettier than me, or like better body, so I think you're a bitch and like screw you. Or like, I admire you, but I'm like envious of you in a way, like your confidence in the way you like look like you're holding yourself and all those types of things. Like, I feel like I'm that girl. Like, yeah. Because I'm not gonna like take away your beauty or your like power and stuff like that. Like, I see it, I honor that in you, but like when other people have a better body or better legs or butt or whatever, toned arms, I'm like, damn, I want to look like that. Like, I'm envious, I'm jealous.
Yeah. Instead of like, it's hard to be like, wow, you go girl. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's hard to fully feel that. I don't know how
to be like, you go girl, you go Glen Coco, and then not hate myself for it and not like shame myself for not looking like that or like being as fit or whatever it is.
Because that's what makes it hard to truly appreciate other people's like hard work and stuff. It's because of how it makes you feel about yourself. It's not that you don't think that they
deserve it or, you know, did the things that they should have done or look good or whatever. It's just
what it makes you feel that brings out that negativity, really.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, food wise, so I grew up pretty poor. I mean, not like poor, but like my mom was a single mom, and so it was just barely getting by. You bought what you could afford. So we ate a lot of ramen, a lot of macaroni, hot dogs.
Kraft macaroni.
I know, the best. Gosh, what else? I don't know, a lot of canned goods, canned foods. I mean, she always had like snack cakes and stuff in the house. So like we still had like junk food, but it was like whatever was cheapest that you could get your hands on. Like I don't, and my mom hated vegetables. So
you guys didn't grow up eating vegetables.
Yeah. Well, okay, we still liked vegetables, but like then especially once she was a single parent, it wasn't something she like really cooked much as a side because I don't know, it just wasn't something that she would eat. So then like she was less likely to cook it for us or didn't know how to cook it because she doesn't like to eat it.
That makes sense.
And so we just weren't exposed to a lot of vegetables and stuff. And so when I started working at a gym when I was 16, that's when I started to really get into like the fitness, and that's when I started to, you know, do a lot of exercising. And then the more I got into exercising, the more I wanted to like get into the food side of it. So I started buying my own groceries and like meal prepping and doing all of that. And I went from one end of the spectrum to the other. Like
when you were growing up, like that was like basically all you knew. So did you feel like when you were growing up or like even before you started working at the gym, was that like concerning to you? Were you like, was that, or was it just the norm? Do you know what I mean?
Like, yeah, it wasn't probably until I was like 14-ish is probably when I started to give more thought to it, especially because like I had other friends whose parents ate a lot healthier. So like I would go over and, you know, my friend's mom would make like this healthy breakfast with egg whites and this and that. And so I was like, oh, I was exposed to it a little more. Yeah. And so then I started to compare it to what I was eating at home. But I didn't really make any changes or like want to make any changes until I actually got into fitness and was exercising and
was
stuff.
Was your mom supportive?
Yeah, she was totally fine with it. I don't think, I mean, honestly, she was probably a little judgmental at first now that I think about it. Just because, one, she wasn't huge into vegetables and stuff like that. And so they kind of made fun of me a little bit at first. Like, oh, you know, you're so strict on yourself and this and that.
My family has been like assholes about it before. Yeah. They like know it now, but before they're like, oh, what are you eating? And I'm like,
right. So what was your kind of...
I feel like up until the divorce, even a little after the divorce, like my mom, stay-at-home mom, she cooked all the meals. Like I just remember us every day, like 5:30 when my dad got home, around 4ish, like my mom would have dinner and we'd eat at the table always. Like my dad didn't want us to have our elbows on the table. She always had a meat, like a protein. We had a side, whether it be like homemade macaroni. It was always homemade. Everything was homemade. So I really grew up with like seeing that, like how a wife serves her husband. I feel like, and
it included like a lot of vegetables or like...
Yeah, I mean, it included like we always probably had like one side of a vegetable. Like it was always usually like whether it be corn on the cob, green beans. It was something always like, you know, it wasn't like high vegetables, but it was always something.
Right.
I feel like it was a pretty balanced meal, probably more like carby, you know, with like potatoes or something. But that was the norm for me. And then my dad did not like leftovers, which
some people are really weird about that.
I ain't never gonna be with a man that don't like leftovers. Tyler loves leftovers. But so my mom would always make another meal for him, or like however she would make, whether it be like pot roast, she would make like sliders for him the next day or something like that. So it was like formed into a different meal. She was very good at that and creative. But after the divorce, I definitely feel like we had to be on EBT for a little while and get some assistance and stuff. And I ate so much junk. I don't know if it was like a coping mechanism, like depression,
definitely
like
part of it.
This makes me feel good. I'm so much shit's going on in my life. I just want to like feel good temporarily. But like I would eat like a whole box of whales in one sitting. I mean, I can still do that. Okay? Yeah. But like I would just when I got into hygiene school, I literally went to school or went to Hy-Vee and went and worked out, and then I went to Hy-Vee and I spent $60 on shit, on cookies, on a cookie cake, Nutty Buddy, not Nutty Buddies, puppy chow, like that, and then I went home by myself. Like most people would have like wanted to go out and party and drink and celebrate. Like I was like, nope, I want to be by myself and I want to eat.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Yes, it was like
I like locked myself up in my room and like I stuffed my face. Of course, I felt like absolute dog crap afterwards. But like, so I definitely feel like after the divorce is when like my food relationship started tanking.
Yeah.
And it probably, I guess I never really thought about it, but it's probably from like coping mechanisms.
Yeah, definitely. And if it's something that you didn't get a lot since you were used to a lot of the home cooked stuff, if that started to change, it's just, it was something new.
Yeah, I mean, like, shiny. My mom, you know, whether she was having, she had to work after, you know, she was a stay at home mom. So she wasn't there in the morning to make us breakfast. So we had, like, Hot Pockets. I can't tell you how many fucking ham and cheese Hot Pockets
I had a lot of those in my time.
Yeah. So, or, you know, pizza rolls for dinner or after school snack and Pop-Tarts, so many Pop-Tarts and Quaker Oat bars and, like, it's crazy to think I haven't eaten that stuff in so long. I kind of miss some of it, to be honest, in a weird way, like nostalgic way. But it was just the easy, convenient food, you know, like most single moms who don't have money. Yeah. You know, or don't have the time to do that for their kids. Yeah. So I feel like I've had both sides.
Yeah. So, and then I feel like once I went to the really healthy side, I kind of got obsessive with it for sure, because I was like, oh, you know, I've just been eating so bad all these years, like I need to do better. And it just led to me being obsessive. Like that's when I got into like calorie counting. I didn't know anything really about macros, like if how much protein, fat, or carbs I should be intaking. I was just specific to calories, and so I like cut my calories like way back, and I got like super super lean, and I was like at that point I was working out probably an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours a day, just because I would get off work at the gym and then I'm like, oh, I'll go work out. Yeah. And I didn't feel like I was missing anything at home, so it was like, I might as well do this, you know?
It's so crazy because like I've been there too, where I spent like so many hours at the gym, and then it's like now I literally feel like I spend an hour at most. Usually like 45 minutes.
Same.
And it's like it feel.
It's like you really don't need that much.
You don't need that much, and I get if you're trying to like try new things or whatever, cardio, sauna, whatever. Like I get if you want to spend a little bit more time, but I just feel like it's not necessary on your body, or like the time that you spend away from your family or whatever. Like it's just not necessary to spend that much time.
It definitely
like, we didn't know that until we knew that, you know.
Right. So. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got pretty healthy and strict, and I'm trying to think. I think what happened is once I started dating Dylan, that's when I got a lot looser with like what I would eat and stuff.
Why do you think when you get into a relationship, like everyone says, oh, you just get too comfortable and you just don't give a shit, and it's like, I don't know, I feel like food is also like such a like bonding thing, you know. So I get you probably get comfortable and you're like, oh yeah, whatever, I don't have to go to the gym, or I don't have to eat as healthy, like, and obviously their eating habits really does weigh in on you, but yeah, I think a lot of it is like food is such a big bonding experience.
Yeah. So I guess like from 16 to 18 I was really like obsessive about what I ate and how much I ate. And then me and Dylan got together when I was 18. And part of it is absolutely because you go on dates, you go out to eat. He wants to go there, and you're like, yeah, sure, I'll go there. And then I think the other part of it is he was encouraging because he saw how restrictive I was on myself. And so he's like,
this can't be healthy.
You work out so hard, like, like you should allow yourself this or that or this. And so I kind of went more towards, I was a lot looser with like what I let myself eat. And then I went off to college that year too. And when you're a broke college student, you go back to eating what you can afford. Yeah, ramen noodles. Even though I had like a meal ticket for like the place at campus to go to, I didn't go there as often just because I didn't like it. And honestly, some of the options sucked. But yeah, I found myself back to eating ramen noodles or what was easy in the dorm, essentially.
Did it feel, I mean...
That freshman 15, it's like
it's a real
unavoidable.
Thing.
Unavoidable.
Yeah.
Not really, but...
But the stress of, like, not...
the new environment.
The new environment, managing all those classes and the new people. And I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So you can't expect to stay the same. It's okay to change.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I came back from college that year because I only stayed there 1 year, and then came back and went to not community college, went to a more local college, so I wasn't away.
Yeah.
And then I think I slowly started easing back into the healthiness. I got back into the meal prepping quite a bit, but I feel like probably in the last 2 years is the healthiest my relationship has ever been with food. Honestly, it's always been like a pendulum, like swinging one way or the other. I'm either way over here or way over here, and like I finally feel like I'm finding that balance.
Do you feel like you had to be on each extreme to be able to find that balance?
Probably.
Like if you had like your younger self or a kid or something like that, do you think, not a kid, but like a friend or something like that that might be going through this, like would you try to not let them go on either side and just like go in the middle? You know what I mean?
Right. I think it would
find that balance.
I think it would have been easier to find that balance if I had grown up with some of that balance, just because I could have built a better relationship with food earlier on. But I think because I started at one end of the spectrum, yeah, I feel like I had to go through the swings. I mean,
that was your story, you know. Right. And you become sometimes a product of your environment, you know, like you didn't know any better until you did.
And I don't blame.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she was doing the best she could do. Same with my mom. Like
like I was still fed.
Right.
Like some people.
Yeah, you still had everything that you needed. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, the blaming game. Like I went through all that. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't get me wrong. There's some things that you should definitely have them take ownership for. But this is not one of them. It's just like you were doing the best you could do. You know, you're trying to keep your head afloat too. So
yeah, definitely.
I think this is off topic, but I think that is a good spot to be in, I feel like, and a tricky spot at the same time to like look back at your, that could be another video, like childhood trauma or like parenting traumas.
Oh, definitely.
But looking back and seeing like as an adult with our perspective now, like you can be like angry a little bit in the sense of being like, I did not deserve what I went through as a kid, like I should have had better, but then also being like, you were just doing the best you could do, you know, definitely. At the time.
Definitely.
Like you were just trying to figure it out, you were just a kid, or you know, like, so it's just interesting to be able to see both sides of that.
Yeah, and I feel like the older you get, the easier it gets to see.
Just more perspective and life gain, and it just, definitely. And I feel like just even like a few years ago, I was like really bitter at my mom about stuff and my parents, and then like just the more I've grown and seen, and I'm like, you know what? Turned out okay.
Right. Yeah. So how are you feeling food wise, or when do you feel like you started to find a little more balance for yourself?
I definitely feel like I've definitely been on each side of the pendulum too. Like, and there'll be some days where like I'm in the middle, and then something happens. I don't know exactly what it is, but something will like trigger it, and I'll be like, "Ooh, back to that." I really feel like I have been doing pretty good. Obviously, right now I'm trying to do that whole carnivore thing, but before the carnivore and right now, even doing the carnivore, like I feel like I'm still in a healthier spot mentally where I feel like I could do, like if I wasn't doing the carnivore, I would I wouldn't binge
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't feel like I was depriving myself of the food.
Yeah.
So then when you don't, like, it's literally a chemical thing. When you don't feel like when you're not depriving yourself, you're not going to go binge and eat like an asshole.
Right.
Because you know, like, oh, I want that Reese's. I can have that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. That was content. I'm good.
Yeah.
And then you can move on. Like, but before, when I was on the other spectrum, it was like, I couldn't have that. If I had that, you're a piece of shit. You're fat. You're gonna get more cellulite. You're gonna gain fucking weight. You're gonna. It's just everything's gonna go downhill. You're gonna like binge and eat everything in sight. But then the more I told myself I couldn't have it, the more I was obsessing and wanting it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not healthy either. Like the stress around food, which I am like so big on that. Like, and I've gotten a lot better with that. But like even my mom can tell you, she was like, you have been so stressed out about food for so long. Like. Mm-hmm. And what it will do to you and all this. And it is hard because like there's a lot of food that like, well, if I eat that, I'm probably gonna get super bloated and look like I'm 7 months pregnant.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like that. Like it's not comfortable.
Yeah. Or just knowing like some of the things that are in our food that we know aren't good for us.
Yeah, that's probably where I'm struggling the most. Is like I've been going down more a holistic path, and it's one of those things. It's kind of screws you because once you know it, you can't unknow it, and it's been rough because I'll spend, I feel like 10 minutes in an aisle looking at the ingredients and like I'm like, I really want this for my meal that I'm about to make, but wow, bioengineered food source or like all the shit that's in our food, and it's like you can't win sometimes,
Yeah.
And I can't afford right now to buy everything organic. Like I just physically can't.
Yeah. Like, definitely.
Hashtag goals someday, but not right now.
Yeah. Or grow it ourselves one of these days.
Yeah, like that would be awesome, but that's just not where I'm at in life. So, and that's okay, I think, to acknowledge that, like, if you can buy everything organic, more power to you, awesome. If you can't buy anything organic, do the best you can. If you can buy stuff here and there, great. Like, literally, it's all about what you can afford, and it's not what's not going to put you out.
Yeah, definitely. At the end of the day.
And, yeah,
I don't know. Survive.
It's just hard because our food is not the way it should be anymore, and that's why everyone's having these food sensitivities and gut issues and gut dysbiosis, and I mean it goes on and on. Yeah.
I wish our government cared more about
our government sucks. So if you like our government, I don't think we'd get along.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, we still have it a lot better than a lot of other countries out there, but just like if you were to compare what what US allows in their food versus like Europe, what the
UK, like Europe, like if you look at their ingredients, like
or if you look at the same product and those two, they look completely different. Like the food dyes that are allowed, this and that.
It's sad. Like if people looked at the correlation between like ADHD and just like hyperactivity and like I don't even know. Like I think seizures is even one of them, and like autistic spectrum type stuff, like autism. It is crazy the correlation between like food dyes and those things. But people don't want to change, and it's like I get being stuck in your ways. I get it. I used to be that way too. So I can understand where you're coming from, but I'm also like, why wouldn't you want to do better and try to prevent that?
Right. Well, and not to mention, I mean, I feel like we're kind of going off on a little bit tangent on the food stuff, but
I don't even know what time it is.
I don't know. Let's see. Oh, of course, I lost it. But I feel like we're in a mental health crisis in the U.S. And there's a big correlation between your gut microbiomes and how you feel mentally. So, like, because of all the crap we're eating, our gut microbiomes are off because we're not getting the nutrients that we need from fruits and vegetables because we're not eating whole foods.
Yeah, and our soil, even if you are eating whole food, that's why everyone's like, do organic, blah, blah, blah. It's like our soil is so depleted of all the minerals and nutrients that we need that, like, even when we're eating those things, we're really not getting it.
Yeah, and so our gut's completely off, which leads to worse mental health. And
your gut is your second brain. It's really actually your first. Like, it's so correlated, and most people I talk to, they understand that, but there's some that are like, no, it's not. Well, I'm like, yes, it is. Like, if you go to any functional doctor, any holistic person, they're gonna tell you, like, look into your gut first. So that's the first thing.
Yeah.
And that's also stressful. Like, we could probably do another video at some point about that. It's like okay, you can tell me to look into my gut, but what does that mean? How do I do that? What are the steps?
Yeah. It can all be pretty overwhelming, but I mean, more so on the topic of our food relationship, I feel like we were both in a lot better place.
Yes, we are in a lot better place. I feel like
even now,
you're really well. Like you're doing really well. I think I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
I think it's just different because I'm doing a strict diet right now, like eating meat only and allowing fruit, I guess.
Right.
But it's like that like little eating disorder that I've had, like it kind of like triggers that because I'm being obsessive a little bit and like restrictive. So anytime I feel like I'm being restrictive or like you need to count macros, that like is like a red flag to me because I'm like, no, I just want to listen to my body.
Yeah.
But right now I am listening to my body. Like I don't have to try to eat this, and that. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna eat when I'm hungry, and I know the things I can eat, and I know the things I can't eat. Like,
yeah.
So I'm trying to look at it like that, but it's still different.
Yeah, definitely. I just feel like I'm at a place where I mainly, eat what I know serves my body well, but I allow myself that stuff so I don't feel like I'm over restricting. If I want ice cream, I'm gonna go out for ice cream, and it's just finding the balance in that. How many times do we talk about
Finding the balance?
That's literally why we named the channel this. But I mean, it's just there's always gonna be extremes in life, and it's never gonna get you to where you want to be.
Well, I also know like
it's not black and white.
When I was on a spectrum of like being super obsessive and like bringing my food scale everywhere, I would bring my food scale to like not holidays, but like vacations or like the lake or something, and I'd prepackage like all my protein powder. Which there's no like you don't have like an eating disorder if you like want to bring protein powder with you to a fucking vacation.
No,
like
no, I still
do that shit all the time. Like it looks like crack cocaine, not really, but yeah. You know what I mean? Like there's no shame in that. Yeah, there's no shame in that at all. But it's the fact that like I did it because I felt like I either couldn't trust myself to not have it and like follow that structure routine and like need to check in with a coach and send him progress picture, and all the things. And it's like, no, like again, like I said, food is memories. And it's one of those like I can't tell you like the last few years of being able to go to like holidays and like knowing that I'm not depriving myself anymore. Like I don't have to like gorge myself and feel like absolute trash afterwards.
Yeah.
Because I would bring my food scale and then I would try to be like that little good girl, and then I would be like, well, fuck this. This is only one day. I'll start back tomorrow. Like I'm not gonna not eat the things I want to eat on Thanksgiving. I'm not gonna eat a fucking pie because I'm like, oh my god, no, I want to look better. I don't want to have these saggy arms. Like one fucking day isn't gonna do anything. And unless you're literally training for like a show or something like that, or maybe you have some other health serious complications, I'm all for like enjoy your food, enjoy your day, and make memories, enjoy it like wholeheartedly enjoy it. And then if you want to make some changes to your diet or whatever, I hate the word diet, but like start the next day, like course correct. You can always course correct.
Let us know if you guys would be interested in a video where we kind of talked about healthy meals that we go for or snacks or stuff, because I feel like that was one thing that was completely overwhelming to me when I first started out, was like, where do I start? And like, how do you make subtle changes to things to where you can actually be balanced with it? Like
it doesn't have to be an all or nothing thing.
It doesn't have to mean salads for every meal.
Yeah, you don't have to go in your, some people might say like, oh, go in your pantries and throw everything processed away. And it's like, I mean, I guess if you want to do that, cool.
Yeah.
But like, you almost want to like, there's like a healthy way of doing it. It's called crowding out. So instead of like throwing away all your shit, you just basically
keep adding good shit.
Keep adding good shit into your life, into your diet, your nutrition, your daily life, and then the bad shit eventually crowds out.
Yeah. Yeah. Even just like adding a lot more fruits to your house is a good way to get yourself to stop going towards the chocolate or
and eating
the
like
cookies.
Especially women, like with your hormones, eating within the season is super helpful.
Yeah.
Like if it's wintertime or fall, like eating more, especially wintertime, like more like squash and like sweet potatoes, like root vegetables, grounding root vegetables, like that's very, very helpful to your hormones.
Yeah.
Because all those nutrients and vitamins and minerals that are in those foods, that's what your body is needing during that season. Yeah. And I think that's really interesting because I didn't get taught that.
Right. Well, I think we should kind of wrap it here.
15 to 20 minutes, and we're in 30 minutes. So
yeah, I think we are pretty close to. Yep, 29 minutes, 20 Yay. Seconds. So cool. We are back to that 30-minute drive.
We'll get our shit together one day, but not tonight.
No. Not tonight. I do think we should do a third segment of this because I did say we wanted to kind of talk about body image, which we didn't get into. So I kind of feel like that should be our next video.
Yeah. So part 3 will be about body image, and then, like Sydney said, let us know if you want to know about like easy food prep ideas. We can we've even talked about it before, like doing like recording ourselves making a few meal preps.
Yeah.
We're not any like chefs over here, but I mean, no. Simple is easy and it's consistent, and that's really the best thing you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
cool. Well, thanks, guys.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you guys. See ya.